And we're back for stage 139 of Build the Battleship Bismarck, fitting the eyelets and the rig for the onboard cranes. So this is the penultimate episode. So first thing, on the series of slides you're seeing, I'm showing where these eyelets are attaching. I tried recording this, but just due to the size of them and my hands, it was impossible to tell what I was doing. So what I've done is I've just taken a series of pictures of the Bismarck and highlighted where all the eyelets are going. We put on nearly, I think, 60 of them. That was a lot. But anyhow, once this little slideshow's over, then we'll move on to something that I've been terrified of from the get-go, rigging the cranes. So, this is my first attempt at rigging the crane following the instructions so that the crane could still move. And, as you can see, no. And now a moment of anger with Super Draco 380.
Seething with rage!
Okay, so after that total fail, I'm going to just do the cranes the way I think they should be done. If you want a more comprehensive and well thought out way of doing this, I think World of Wayne did the best video on rigging these cranes. So don't do what I'm going to do if you want them to be able to move. I'm gluing everything in place. They're going to become static. And honestly, it's just the best for my sanity at this point. To begin with, I'm going to tie a knot at the bottom of this, tie it in place, and then I'm going to put some glue on this at the bottom. Now the knot is actually supposed to go up under the sprocket, but after last time, I don't care. So then I'm going to apply some glue to the first loop on the reel and cause the rope to come off. Because at this point, I was very, very frustrated and probably should have taken a break. PSA, don't build things when you're angry. If you do, you end up like this.
That's one fine-looking barbecue pit. Why doesn't mine look like that?
I'm going to add a bunch of glue on there just so it can't come loose again. So then we're going to come up through the first reel where I've put the glue. Now, according to the instructions, you want it to go through that piece on whatever it is, that support arm. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of ways to cut the fluff from this one. So we're going to come all the way through. And then it says, I believe you're supposed to go through that opening, and then it'll loop around the top reel, and I think it comes down. So I'm putting some glue again. I'm doing this how I feel like it. Again, don't build when you're angry, otherwise. So then we're going to come back down, and I'm pulling the string nice and tight, gluing it in so the boom on the crane will stay straight. Because again, mine's not going to move. And that's the way I want it. Now, the reason I have so much string out is the instructions said you need about 1 meter. I'm starting to question if you needed quite that much, but like I said, Wayne does a much better explanation than I do. I'm not going to link the video, but World of Wayne, Bismarck rigging, you'll find it. Okay, so coming back from the top loop, we had to go back through the support arm, and then I believe it goes around the second lower reel. And so, going back to my friend glue, and once it's nice and solid, then I believe it threads under the reel and starts going back up towards the boom. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't even thinking about the camera as I was doing this. I just was trying to get it done because there are very few points on this that I wasn't having fun. This is one of them. So then what we're going to do is this will come up to the second reel on the end of the boom. Going to wrap over the reel. Now we're going to come down with it. And again, since I'm gluing it, I'm making sure it's in the position I want it in. So then now it's going to go through the small little eyelet under the reel. So we're going to loop that around. And then with it looped now, we're going to insert the whatever you call the pulley, the tackle, or whatever it is. I don't have the instructions in front of me, so I don't remember the name of it because, again, I wing this. And so once you have that to the desired length, it's going to come down, or I think it goes over the next reel at the end. Oh no, we're coming back through there, and then it's going to go on the third reel at the bottom. And so I'm just checking to make sure it matches up with how I rigged the other crane. Because I figured all this on the fly. So with the third loop on the lower reel, we're then, I believe, we're gonna thread it through the reel at the bottom again, and then go back up towards the boom. So we're going to feed that through, and I'm just going to use my tweezers to get a better grip on it as I pull it through. I wish I held this in frame a little better. But this is undiscovered country for all of us, since this is me just doing whatever and only using the instructions as a loose guide. So we're going to bring that up toward the boom. I believe it went through the support, or whatever that other thing is, and then it's going around the last reel on the boom. There we go, it's going through the support and then up to the boom. Where's that coming down? Okay, that's coming back down. So it's coming down from the boom, down through the support, and then it goes over the reel, but then we're going all the way to the bottom, and then it's going to wrap around the sprocket. Now, truthfully, I do have concerns for the longevity of this string, how long it's going to last. But I guess that's across the bridge when we get there scenario. So then we're going around the last reel on the bottom and then going back up. Because I thought that was the last reel on the boom, but I was incorrect. So we're going around there, going back up to the boom. And honestly, it's a bit hard to narrate because this is after the fact, so I really don't remember what I did in vivid detail. So then we're coming through that gap in the boom again. And again, it's not in frame very well. And I'll apologize for that, but this is as good as it's gonna get. So I'm putting some glue on the last reel of the boom. Then it's going to come all the way over. Now we're going to go through that support again. And then it's going to go back over the last reel at the base, even though there's already a loop on the reel. And with all these loops on here, it's a little difficult. So you want to take your time and make sure that they're not wrapping up, they're not sticking to each other or otherwise jamming up. And so since this is the last one, we're going to come down back to the bottom. I'm going to put some more glue on the bottom and just glue it in place instead of tying it off. So I'm winding it around a few times till I'm happy, and then I'm going to take my nippers and cut the ends of it off. This Bismarck has a lot of cool stuff, design elements and presence, but I was starting to convince the Germans in World War II couldn't design mundane crap to save their lives. Because the design of this crane just seems excessively overcomplicated. And I'm not a crane engineer, that's just my opinion, but regardless, and so I noticed that there was that some pieces had wrapped up, so I was just untying everything, making sure it stays nice and pretty. I about made a mistake I made before and let the crane, all the wires just wrap around each other. But now that we've got the 2 cranes built, we can actually finish this up. Okay, so we're going to cut another piece of thread, and then we're going to put some knots in it, and then run that through the instructions call it the block. And I tried with a single knot, so you're going to want to make multiple knots on top of each other until it's big enough that it can't just slip right through the block. Okay, and once you're happy with the length of the size of the knot, cut the excess away from the knot, and then you're going to feed it through the block. So once it's through all the way through and the knot catches like that, so then what we're going to do is basically we're going to loop that thread around the strut at the bottom the strut on the side of the crane. Now the instructions say just tie it off with a knot. Since my crane is never going to move again other than rotating at its place in the deck, I'm going to probably glue it in place once I have it where I'm happy. And with the crane being able to move freely, this probably would have been a lot easier. But I don't think I need to rehash the Homer meme again. Twice is enough for one video. So now that I've got the cable basically where I want it to, I want to make sure everything's arranged all neat and pretty where I want it. And so then I'm going to use my tweezers to wrap it around. And then we're just going to cut the excess off, and there we go. Our cranes are finished. So I'm just going to scoot the camera over, and they plug right into that socket right by the catapult. We're going to do that with the other crane on the other side. Thanks for watching and suffering through this with me. We finish the Bismarck in the next episode. And again, don't do what I do, but do what you want to do. Thanks for watching. See you for the next video.